Good morning, students. Welcome to the online class. We have finished reading our first chapter of the supplementary reader, that is Footprints Without Feet. But unfortunately, some students haven't responded yet. They haven't submitted their assignment. In this regard, let me tell you that your assignments, your homework, your classwork bears a lot of significance in the internal assessment procedure. That's why today I shall explain to you the internal assessment procedure for class 10 English. You can see in this picture the first part, that is meant for Hindi, English and Sanskrit. In this part there are four broad divisions. First one is your periodic test. It is not only periodic test, actually best two tests within the year, then multiple assessment, then another is portfolio, and then subject enrichment. So these are the broad division, and from this division you will accrue 20 marks in total. So what are these 20 marks? Let me explain to you in detail. Monthly test and half yearly test. There is some mistake here. Not monthly test and half yearly test, even periodic test may be included. Best two tests of the year would be included, and that will be converted to 5 marks. So how will it be converted? Suppose you score 160 marks in the two examination by scoring 100% marks, 80 plus 80, 160, then your 160 will be converted to 5 marks. So if you divide 160 by 5, you get 32 marks. Sorry, you get 1 marks for 32 marks you have scored in the examination. Now divide your marks by 32. Suppose you have scored 50 in one test, that is your best, and you have scored 70 in another test, then it adds up to 120 marks. So this 120 marks has to be divided by 32, and whatever comes is rounded off, and that becomes your marks out of 5. Now multiple assessment. It has so many divisions, and CBSE has no proper guideline of the weightage of the 5 marks given in the various activities or sub activities within multiple assessment. So it depends upon the school. Last year I took these things: concept map, quiz, oral test, visual expression, exit card. Out of these, concept map means your note taking, how you arrange and categorize the note, how you reflect it in your classworks. These things also counts, and 2 marks is awarded for that. Quiz. Last year some online quizzes were conducted by quizzes link. Some students participated, and this year also we will conduct some kind of quizzes, and there your participation will ensure good marks. And then visual expression. Visual expression is your actually it is also indirectly related with your classroom participation, and your activities inside the classroom, and how you enjoy the classroom. That is also an important part. Then there is a portfolio part. It has classwork 1 mark out of 5, and homework 2 marks. And this one is very important. If you don't submit your homework properly, don't do classwork properly, don't do your projects and activities properly, then you won't get good marks out of these 5. And there is another part, that is subject enrichment, ASL, assessment of speaking and listening. We conducted this last year for class 10 students. For speaking, you will be given some topics. You have to speak in support of the topic, or in against or in opposing the topic. And for listening, you will be given a audio piece, or some audio record. You will be exposed to that, and after listening to the audio tape, you have to answer some questions provided, a question provided you separately. So all these add up to become 20 marks of your internal assessment. Now let me show you the question pattern and syllabus. As it was in class 9, it is almost similar. There is no much difference in the English syllabus for class 10 in comparison to class 9. You are getting two passages. One is factual passage and another is discursive passage. The first one carrying 8 marks and the second one carrying 12 marks. I think it is not a big problem for you, except for those who are actually doing copy paste work, directly copying lines from the passage and writing writing down the same in their answer. That will not fetch you good marks. Write according to the question. Though refer the text from the passage, you have to modify the answer as per the suitability of the question asked. So that reading part was of 20 marks. Now it is the writing and grammar part. It also carries 30 marks. Writing an article or descriptive paragraph, that is a description of a person, of a place, event, that is report writing, diary entry, in about 100 to 150 words based on visual or verbal cues. Sufficient verbal cues or pictures may be given there, and sometimes some cues are given for writing the paragraph or article. You have to follow that. That makes writing easy, but you have to be very careful about your grammar aspect, because if you write inaccurate English, marks will be deducted. It is in the guidelines. Come to the point number 2, writing a short story based on given outline or cues in about 150 to 200 words. This is also not new for you. You actually had a good practice in class 9. Questions from grammar syllabus. Remember, grammar syllabus is given in detail in split of syllabus, but grammar is not asked traditionally. It will be contextual. Some passage may be given, and in this passage there will be edit and omission question in the passage given. Gap filling with 1 or 2 words to test preposition, articles, conjunction and tenses. All these things may be asked. Then there will be an extract from prose or poetry. 2 will be given, 1 to be attempted, and for this you need to read minutely in minute details, otherwise you will miss the you cannot write the answer properly. Why? Because they don't ask questions directly. Some questions are inferential, some shows your understanding of the chapter. That's why you have to be careful. Read line by line. Just reading the summary won't suffice. Now come to the short answer type questions. 3 questions from beehive and 2 questions from movements. This is actually example given from class 9. This way you have your 3 questions from your first slide, that is your detail, and 2 questions from your supplementary, that is footprints without feet. Pattern is almost same as I told you. And there will be 2 long answer type questions of 100 to 150 words each, carrying 8 marks. So this is the syllabus for English. So prepare accordingly. From tomorrow, we shall read the first chapter of First Flight, that is a letter to God. Thank you for today.